Well, good evening, everyone. This is Tom here, and welcome to Cab Crew Wednesday on 7/24/24. Interesting number. And I'd like to say hello to everybody that's in the chat so far tonight. We have John Benicki, who was the first one in. How you doing, John? Then Andy, Hot Dog Pilot. How you doing, Andy? And we got John from Schuylkill Valley River. How you doing, John? And Floyd Robbins. How you doing, Floyd? Glad to see you all in here tonight. So hope everybody's doing well, and I'm sure more people will pop in as we go along. Been busy as heck here, working and cleaning my track and stuff to get the trains running again. But that'll probably be the next show I do. I'll have some trains running. Hey, Sparky, how you doing? Good to see you in here. So I've been I worked with Jim Tedesco on this bumper, and we 3D printed. And the ones that I've 3D printed were real small, and this fits on the track. If we take a piece of track here, it'll snap right on there. So now it's attached to the track. So he sent me this design in an email, and then I started printing it, and then I looked at it and I said, I want to put a light in it. So then we redesigned it and put a hole in the top so I can fit an LED in there. Then I'll know when the track has power and stuff like that. So I got to make 31 of these for my layout. I got 31 dead ends. So I got to make them up. So I've been printing them. They take like a half an hour each. So then I got to take them off of this plate here. And I put supports in there because the first one I printed, the bars that go down on an angle were really flimsy. So now they come out better with the supports in there. So and so I started printing these. Hey, Dwight, how you doing? And so I decided to order more filament and resin because I'm working on the subway system, the tunnel tops and the sides, and I ran out of both the gray filament and the clear resin. So yesterday I ordered clear resin, 2 bottles of clear resin and 2 packs of gray filament. The package came today. I was really happy that it came, and I got the boxes out and I opened up the filament and it was gray. Put that in the closet because I'm printing these bumpers in yellow filament. So then I get the resin and I open them up, the bottles, and then I open the top off, take all the plastic and stuff out of it, around the bottle, and I pour it into the vat that had some clear resin still in it, and here it was gray. I looked at the bottle and it said gray. I looked at the other bottle, it said gray. I went back to my Amazon order and it said clear. So I put in a return for these 2 bottles, and Amazon accepted the return. So I just have to drop it off at the UPS store tomorrow. And I ordered clear. And this time I double checked it again and it says clear on the order. So I hope they send me clear this time so I can get going, because I do 2 sides at the same time on my big resin printer. and that takes like 17 to 18 hours to print those two sides. So it's a long going with that. So matter of fact, this just finished. Just peel it off the build plate. Then I go over here, hit print, select my file, and hit print, and that'll print another one. So I got 3 made for my one level. I got 6 for there, and then my yard has 13 up there. So I got a lot of side tracks up there, so it's going to be interesting to go. And I showed you guys before. Oh, yeah, I don't know if you all saw my video when I went to see Joe Rader. I last weekend, Friday, I drove down to Maryland and stopped in to see Joe to help me out with that Spurry Systems rail engine. And so I was down there, got there around this before noon. Took me about 2.5 hours to drive down. It was a beautiful day and not much traffic, so it made it a nice ride. And I took the scenic route through Pennsylvania, not going down the turnpike or anything like that. I went back roads and stuff like that. And get there, and we open it up, and I added weight into the front of that to try and compensate for the derailing. And he saw that the weight, when we were turning the truck, it was hitting. So he took that weight out, and then he put it on his layout, and we moved some wires around. All the wires from the decoder were hanging over, and that they might have been impeding the truck from moving. And we put it on his layout, and the thing ran around his entire layout. The only thing is, he has plastic frogs. None of his frogs are powered, and it was hesitating on a couple of those, but it was very surprising because I have a Keep Alive in there. Hey, Randall Ellison, how you doing? Glad to see you made it in here. And so that was the only problem with it. It was hesitating. I don't know why the Keep Alive wasn't keeping it going through the dead zone of the turnout. So, I mean, you take it off the track and it stays on. You can hear the sound, and the lights are on and everything, and the motor's still running. So I don't know if hey, Tammy and Ray, welcome. Glad to see you made it in here tonight. So but all my turnouts are powered, so I ran it from the top of my helix down and started it, and as soon as I got home, it popped off again. I go, what the heck? Did it get bounced around in my driving from Maryland back to New Jersey? And so I opened it up, and I started moving the truck from side to side, and it was not moving that great. And I said, what's holding this thing? So I looked in, and I saw there was 2 screws going down, and that goes into the truck. And so I unloosened the 2 screws totally. I lifted it up, and then the truck dropped down. And then I was able to move it freely. So I then put the screws back in, and I didn't over tighten them. Like, they were pretty tight when I took them out. So I made them a little loose, and then I moved the truck, and it moved freely. And then that's when it started working. So might get a little longer screw. That way I can screw it down a little better. And I don't know yet. I'll see how it works out with the way it is right now. But a lot of the parts on the bottom of the engine. They're in plastic pieces and the compressors and all that jazz. Well, they were falling off, and I collected them all. Now I got to glue them back together and finish that up. But I was just glad that it ran after I took those two screws out and everything. I brought another engine down to Joe's with me. This is an engine I got at a train show I was at, and it's a Conrail engine, and we put the decoder in. Well, this frame here is real tough metal, and I put in the two soundtrack speakers, one there and one there, but that hole there wasn't big enough to fit the speakers in. And so I took my Dremel tool with the cutter on there, and I was boring it out, and I got to the second one, and then all of a sudden the Dremel tool died. And I don't know what happened to it, so I put that in the garbage and got a new one to replace that one. So when Joe was looking at this, he discovered that this frame is isolated on from each other, and I was going to cut off there's springs on the top of the trucks that make contact with the metal, and I was going to cut them off and then solder a wire onto there. That would have been a real pain in the neck, so I would have had to do 2 wires on each wheel. Well, after we he was the one to get it all back together because I couldn't. That's why the only reason I brought it down there. I thought maybe he could help me put this back together because it was in a zillion pieces, and it came apart okay. But getting back together was a different story for me. These are not my forte. Once you get inside the engines, except for decoders, I know how to do those, but that's it. So he said we can solder the wire right onto the frame. So we had to, take a Dremel tool and clean off the black to give us a metal spot there. And hey, Dan, Model Railroading Journey, how you doing? So we did that. And then he soldered. You had to get this really, really hot in order to get the solder to stick. And it popped off a couple times, and we tried again. And then when we put it back together, the gray wire that goes to the motor got pinched when we squeezed this all back together. We didn't know it. And we put it on a track, and the decoder got so hot that it put a nice little hole in it. I don't know if you can see that black spot there. But right where my finger is, there's a black spot on the other side of the decoder. And this melted all this off. So, hey, Mike, how you doing? Glad to see you make it in here. And so I ordered another TSU 2200, which is this model of the Tasami 2. That came, put it in this engine, and it fired right up. Then I put the speakers in afterwards, and it sounds pretty good without the thing closed. When it's closed, it'll sound a little better. The smaller, you need a good buffer. Now, the next thing I'm doing with this engine before I put it all back together, and this does close with this stuff on top like this. And these speakers, Joe measured it. He had a tool that measured it. He measured the inside of the case here. He said, you'll have enough room. And he says, even if those speakers extend from the frame. So, but the speakers are lower than the top of this decoder. So they'll fit in, the fits in there nicely. I'll tape up all these wires once I get the lights in, but I'm adding some lights to the engine. There's 2 headlights here. Then there's the number boards that I'm going to light up. And then I'm putting 2 ditch lights on the front. I 3D printed the ditch light case, and I have an LED in there. I just have to glue it in place and get it ready, and then drill a hole through here and get all the wires all together. And then on the back, there's 2 lights for the rear light, and then also the number board. So there's about 10 lights in here I got to hook up. So that's what I'm working on this engine. I have another engine coming tomorrow. I don't know if you all saw Larry, the DCC guy's last video. He tore down his entire layout, and he had a real nice layout he had there, the Piedmont Southern, and he, for personal reasons, he had to do, I won't say, but you can watch the video of his and you'll find out what he was talking about. And then he said, after that video, he said he's going to do another video. He's going to inventory all his equipment. And the first thing he inventoried was his engines. So he posted that video, and then there was a link to a file, and you could download the file, and you can look at all the engines that he has available for sale. And the prices, he said he's not trying to make a killing, and they're very reasonable. So if anybody needs an engine or something, check out his website, and you might find something you need. He's going to do all his rolling stock, and then he has a lot of electronic equipment that he, not Larry the cable guy, Larry the DCC guy. Yeah, Larry the cable guy. As a matter of fact, I saw a Larry the cable guy video on YouTube just the other day. It was pretty funny. And so I ordered an engine from him. And I know his engines are well kept and in excellent condition. And he tested each one before he put it in the spreadsheet that he had to put out for sale. So, like I say, if anybody's interested, you go check that out. He'll have other videos up about when he does his other things for sale. Hey James, how you doing? Good to see you in here. So that's just a little side note there for anybody that might be interested. The other thing I'm working on is more automation on the layout. You guys seen my lights come on, my refinery, the lightning and thunder, my farm scene up there with all the lights and everything. Well, some of the devices stopped working. And right now the farm scene and the refinery is not coming on automatically. I can manually turn them on, but I want them to be automatic like the other stuff is. So I ordered some devices from the same company that I've been using, which is ATHOM, at home, no E on the end. And I ordered them, and this is what they look like. It's just a smart plug. Plugs in, and then it works on Home Assistant with ESP Home and MQTT. Well, this device is similar to this device. You look at them, they look the same, but they're not. This is version 3. This is version 2. Well, all the devices I have are version 2. So I didn't know no different. I got this, plugged it into the wall outlet, got on my phone, went to the Wi-Fi settings, saw the device there, selected that SSID. It popped up on my Wi-Fi, and then it came up to a configuration page like it's supposed to, like the other ones did. I put in the SSID I wanted it to be on, added the password, boom. I went over to my laptop and I run Home Assistant on, and sure enough, new device showed up. I said, hey, this is getting good. Device worked. Well, I went in, and you have to put in code into what's called a YAML file, and then you hit install, and then that installs all the code into the firmware on the device. Well, couldn't get it to install. Kept on failing. Nobody has ever tried a version 3 device that I know. I go on this Discord channel, and it's for ESP Home and Home Assistant. They're like forums, and nobody there has even used the version 3 yet. And one guy said, I'll see if I can get one and test it out. And these are guys that write the code for ESP Home and Home Assistant. So nobody had an answer. So I then went to At Home and said, hey, do you guys got a version 2 device? Well, they had a version 2 device, but it's not for ESP Home. It's for Tasmota. Tasmota is totally different than ESP Home. So trying to learn Tasmota, I said, there's got to be another device out there that'll work with ESP Home. So I did some more research. Then I found this device, KAUF, which is also a smart plug. You can see on the front of the box, there's the button, and then there's the two plug holes and the ground plug hole, right? So hey Pedro, how you doing? Glad to see you make it in here. And Robin, I don't want to brag, is IGA Gagna. How you doing, Robin? Nice to see you in here. So I get them, same thing. SSID, config page, do all that. Shows up on the ESP Home as a new device. Can't get the YAML file to work. Went on GitHub. They had a YAML file. File's too big to fit on the firmware. So I think the file that they have up there is just a sample of all the different options you can put in a YAML file. I need a YAML file that'll work with ESP Home. And so much code in there. There's like 900 lines of code in that YAML file. My other YAML files are like 110 lines of code. So there's a big difference in that. So I've been troubleshooting that, trying to get that to work. You know, and that's the way it is. Hey, Steve, 87, how you doing? Then I spoke with Derail Darrell. He balances all his track with CA glue. I'm a little reluctant to do that since CA glue really ties everything together. But I was more interested in doing my ballast that I have around my turntable because it has a tendency to fall into the pit. So I asked him what kind of super glue he had, and he just said a super thin super glue. So I went on Mr. Amazon and looked up super thin super glues, and I came up with this stuff. Let's see if I can get it in focus. It's CYA Fixed. That's the name of it. And it's a super thin super glue. So when I get up there on my third level and start working on that, I'm going to start gluing the ballast around the turntable, and then I won't have anything dropping into it, at least. So I got 2 bottles. So I think that should be more than enough to cover that area up there. Yeah, Steve. Well, that's what Derail Darrell, he super glues all his ballast down to his track. And he says it works great for him. So I'm just going to do it around my turntable. I'm not going to mess around with any of the other stuff. So that's what I'm doing there. And on my right here, this is another project I got going. I made these well cars last year, and then I brought them all up into my yard, and I was doing a lot of work on the subway system, and I had to roll them away so I could put my elbow down on that as I was working up on the subway system. And all of a sudden, it's hard for them to move. And I go, what's going on? Well, they all have 3D printed trucks. Okay. The wheels were coming off. They were just falling right off. So I spoke with Jim Tedesco again, and I said, hey, Jim, what are we going to do? I says, I see you using your 3D printed trucks and mine. So he sent me again the STL file for the truck. And I started printing them, and I tested it. And the then I put the same wheels in it, and they were still falling out. They were not long enough. So then I found Intermountain wheels, and I ordered a box of those, and they fit in there perfect. And I put the these are 3 in a set. They work. They go together. I put one set on the track, and then I ran it up the helix a couple levels. And then I put the double stack on, and you saw a video where I did that, and all of a sudden it hit. Hey, Todd Armstrong, how you doing? And I hit the wires, and I had to redo all the wires on the helix. I got that all done. So now I can run double stacks up my helix, which is good because I want to take things up into the yard and bring them out and take them down to the industries and stuff like that. So that's the plan anyway. And so at least I know now that the new 3D printed truck I made and the wheels worked. Matter of fact, before they were binding, I guess, and they would derail as they were going around the helix. So I was happy to see that that new combination worked. So that's what these are here for. I got to get I have a whole box of printed trucks, and the wheels are in the same box. So just got to set them all up. So I got to take them all off and put new wheels and trucks on them, and then they'll be ready to be put into the system for good. I got an email from a guy, I didn't know who he was, and he said he watched one of my videos. Well, Larry, Larry had some health issues. I don't know what they were, but he was just not feeling well. And that's why he always did a video on Friday, I believe it was Friday. He posted a video every week, and he was always showing something that the vendors would send to him, and he would test them out and stuff like that. So yeah, he was a little sick, and he decided to take his layout down and stuff like that. So yeah, but anyway, back to this. So I'm planning to redo them all, and then they'll be put back into operations. So I'm going to add this to the scene. Okay. Finally got all my cameras in the layout room. In the upper left is a tunnel scene of the subway system. And you can see the lights inside the tunnel now. That's what I've been doing when I put the top pieces on. I put the lights that I had in there on the top of the tunnel. And you can see the sides with the electrical grid going down. And I don't know if we can go over here. Oh, wait a minute, I'm on the wrong camera. If we go here and just move this guy, okay, you can see the fan there. It's blowing. We put those threads on there just to show people that the fan is working. And if you look further down, you can see the other two in that tunnel. And I haven't put the other tunnel pieces up. Hey, plumber, how you doing? Glad you can make it in here, buddy. And so that's what I've been working on. And I got to be putting tunnel tops on all the way around. It's just going to take some time. Hey, Joe Rader, how you doing? And so it's then you run out of filament, you run out of clear resin. Can't do much more. So I have two cameras in the subway system, one in each corner, and it can do two sides each. So if I go back to here, that view, we go up to this one. This is the tunnel from the other side of the room. And as you can see, I don't have no sides up yet. That's why you can still see like my creeper over there. That's my laptop there. That's where I'll be doing streaming once I get back in the train room. And there's a monitor up there. And and I got a tunnel top over there. I was just testing to see how it would fit, because on this side, there's so many wires from the third level at the top, and on the left-hand corner here, you can't see my mouse moving, but in the left-hand side of this video, you can sort of see the lights from the subway station at the top of them. There are lights there, and that's what I've been working on, getting them up and stuff. Hey, Pedro, how you doing? And so that's that scene. And then if I go back to here, this view. This is the third level. This hasn't had any love for a while here. If we take the camera and go this way, okay, in the upper left corner, I'm working on that wall. That's where the trains come from, the other side of the third level. So there's going to be a wall there and a tunnel entrance. It's hard to see that gray tunnel entrance, but it'll be more visible once I get the wall up there. I had all them printed, 3D printed red brick wall. Then we took them down and we whitewashed them with gray, and to make it look like there's cement in between. So hope that shows up in the camera. So that's the third level. You can go all the way around with the camera. I'm not going to make you guys dizzy and stuff, but I'll go to the next camera. This will show you this. Okay, this here. This is the other side of the third level, and that's the farm scene. But that's not in operation now because I'm working on those devices. So once I get off this screen, I'm going to play around and get them up and running. Now, this light in the ceiling, you see, I can make that any color I want. So if I say to my Alexa, train room blue, it'll make them blue and it'll look like it's nighttime in the whole room. I got one on this side of the room and one on the other side of the room. They were just recently added to my train room. So there's not much to see there, but we go here and now we go back to this layout. This is my first layout. This is called Murray Field. And in the background, you'll see the thunder and lightning. And future will be some rain clouds there. And I'm going to see about having rain come down. So that's the next thing I'm going to do. And so that's that layout. This camera lets me see the whole lower level. I can move it around, but I leave it on this scene just to keep an eye on making sure that the thunder and lightning is still working. So, and then the last camera I just installed was the Helix. And let's get it over there. That's my Helix. Can't see the top of it, but from the bottom up, you'll see the well cars that I tested on level 1, 2, 3, 4. Level 4 up from the bottom is the well cars. And then I have a double stack going across 2 of the cars just to test to see how it worked after I put the wires up. And I'll run it up the rest of the Helix to make sure all the wires are there. And it's I had 2 signals that didn't work, and I had to pull them off and resolder some wires and stuff like that, and put them back up and take care of them. So this is my last camera. This camera will also let me see some of the lower level and some of the other areas of the I'll move it over this direction, and over there, lower level, that's lower Grimsby, and that's how the other two layouts, towns, Rose Lake and Murrayfield, get to the helix. They got to go through Lower Grimsby to get there. And then there's industry in Upper Grimsby. And you exit off of the helix at level 4 to get to Upper Grimsby. Then you go up to level 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then you're going into the yard. And that's the third level up here is the yard. And then you can see the bridge of the subway system that goes from the helix over to the subway system at the very top of this view. Yeah, so I just got this camera about 2 weeks ago and playing around with it and getting it working right. Thanks, John. Appreciate it. Yeah, it took a long time to get that to work, and getting the exits off of the helix to the different levels was a challenge in some spots. But and at the very top of the helix, you go up higher. There's the subway system. Those red boxes are pseudo buildings for the tortoise machines or the Cobalt IPs. I got to make a couple for the rest of them that are exposed. Most of them I have are underneath the layout, but some of these had to be exposed in a way. And then you can see the top level, and there's the camera that does the farm scene, and that upper third level from the east side of the layout. So my upper level is called Ashpool. I guess so. I got Ashpool East and Ashpool West now. So yeah, and so that's what I've been working on, and been busy. Also, I showed you how I clean the track. Again, kudos to hey Ken Amos, how you doing? Glad you can make it in here. I gave more kudos to Larry, the DCC guy. He did a presentation on some stuff that I started using, and it worked great. My track hadn't been used in months. I used that stuff in my CMX cleaning car, took it around the track about 3 times, and then the engine ran flawlessly around. So it's good stuff. And anybody wants it, just let me know. And Todd, the subway system will be automated. I use JMRI, and I have transits set up for that. The only reason I can't run them yet is because I need 2 signals. The automation depends on the signals to be written and working right, and I had to have 2 special signals made. And my buddy out in Utah, Rich Patilla, he makes them for me, and we designed a new signal that would fit in the subway system, and it had to be a dual-headed search signal. So they're coming. He shipped them out the other day, and they should be here this weekend. So I should be operational in the subway system this weekend or maybe next week, because there's only one problem I have with the track on the subway system, and that's that diamond crossing I got. It's an Atlas double diamond crossing, and the engines hesitated on it. So I thought, well, it's a bad piece of track, so I ordered another one. And then the engines worked a lot better, but they still hesitated a little. So then I tried to get a hold of MTH, who are the manufacturers of the subway engines that I have, and nobody ever responds. Call on the phone, leave a message, they don't call you back. I emailed them, I don't know how many times, they don't respond. So I said, okay. So I did more research. Then I saw a guy's video on a Pico Unifrog double diamond, the diamond crossing. And that powers the spots where I'm having trouble. So I found one of them at Train World and waiting for them to ship that out. So as soon as I get that, I'm going to replace the Atlas crossing. I mean, the trains run over it nice, but it loses power. And I wanted to put a keep alive in the MTH, but I couldn't get a hold of anybody to tell me how to do that. So I said, okay, I'll figure out another way. So, okay, Steve, take it easy. Thanks for stopping in. Family comes first, buddy. So, so that's how that is. So, that piece of track, the Pico Unifrog diamond crossing, should solve my problem. Then they'll run flawlessly up there. So that was the only thing that I had to worry about. Oh my God, Ken! Wow, sorry to hear that. That's a shame. But life goes on, I guess. So I'm going to take these down now. I showed you those. See, another one finished printing. They don't take long. And so what I do at work, I take these to work with me, and then I clean them off. You know, I get breaks between what I'm working on, because you know, things on a computer, you start it and then you have to sit there and wait for it to finish. So I take these to work. I take my knife and I just start trimming these off, and then I go. So anybody got any questions or concerns or issues? Maybe I can help you out. Oh, I started to tell you about a guy who emailed me that I didn't know who he was. He watched one of my videos, and he's putting in BD20s and NCE lighteds. And he said, yeah, I can't find any lighted holders. Where'd you get yours? And so I sent him an email back telling him, hey, I 3D printed them. I got the file off of Jim Tedesco, and then we modified it 100 times to get it to work properly. And so I said, hey, I'll make you some. He says, oh, well, I'll pay you for them. And I says, well, here's what I'll do. I'll make you a sample of 5. I'll send them to you. Try them out. They work for you. Hey, Jim, how you doing? And we'll go from there. So I put him in the mail. He should get him in a couple of days. He was in Massachusetts somewhere. So So was pretty interesting to see. So I printed them since I had the yellow filament in. I printed them 5 yellow ones and mailed them out to him. And I don't know how many he needs, but we'll see how it goes. And I tested it before I printed. After I printed it, I took a light I had and slid it in there. And then I told him, give me a call once you get them, because I need to. I'll explain how you solder the wires on the lights so that they they'll slide in there properly with the wires on. Because you can't solder the wires on when it's in the holder; it'll melt the holder, stuff like that. So yeah, it's so that was nice. I had some free time on the printer, and as I was waiting for that other filament to come, and it was good to get them out. I told them I was printing a lot, and I didn't have time right away, but then I snuck them in. They only take like, I don't know, maybe 10 minutes or so like that to print one on the Viper. So, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know who's doing next week. I think maybe that's the 5th Wednesday of the month, I believe. I think that's Mike and James will be doing Cab Crew Wednesday next week. I believe that's, if I'm correct. Mike, if you're still there, you can confirm that. But I think next Wednesday is the 5th Monday of July. So, or I could be wrong. Is there another Wednesday this month? I don't know. I thought I saw that there was. Yeah, 31st, the last day of the month. That's my granddaughter's birthday, too. I got to remember that one. Yeah, I'm going to be a grandfather again in December. I'm going to have a grandson. They already know what it's going to be. My youngest son has my granddaughter, and they're having another child. So that'll be grandchild number 4 for me. So now it'll be 3 boys, 3 grandsons, and 1 granddaughter. So, and then that means the grassy name will be continued. On my side of the family, well, my brother has a son. That's my nephew. But um, well, if he gets married, then the name will be carried on there too. But at least we have another way to carry on the name. There's 5 Wednesdays this month, Mike. The 31st is the 5th Wednesday. I always do the 4th Wednesday, and there's another Wednesday. So thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Yeah, I have a 12-year-old grandson, a 10-year-old. My granddaughter's going to be 5, and then this will be a newborn coming up in December. Yeah, I guess so. That's good. Well, we'll see you all then. So that's the only personal news. Then I am 191 days until retirement. So That's the next big thing. Very nice, John. Very nice. I'm 18 down to 2. Yeah. Yeah, grandchildren, they're great. They come and then they go home. So makes it that makes it a lot easier. Yeah, my all of us live near the area here. My daughter, who has my 2 grandsons, she's 2 hours away. But my youngest son, who has my granddaughter, is 2 minutes away. So it's not too bad. Okay, Joe, thanks for stopping in. We'll catch you later. And so it's just been hectic around here, trying to get things going and stuff like that. Then I had that gray resin dilemma. I just don't understand it. But Amazon has a good return policy, so it doesn't work. Okay, John, thanks for stopping in. Appreciate it. Take care. We'll see you again soon. Yeah, I know, James, you're retired. But you're also a year older than me, I think. So, yeah, that's right, Ken. I don't have no one to tell me anything, so I decide what I want to do and when I want to do it. It was it's a financial situation on what I wanted to, the reason why I'm staying until I'm 69. So that's all I'll say about that. And my job is not the most difficult thing to do. I mean, I sit on a desk in an air conditioned office and I watch computers all day long, make sure they're up and running. The brain works, but no physical. So it's good to keep the brain going as you get older. Thanks, Dan. Yeah, I know. It's good to be close by. But I don't try to go over there and bug them too much. Let them live their own lives. And like they'll call me every once in a while. They need help with an electrical thing or plumbing thing or something like that. I can take care of them for them. My oldest son lives with my ex-wife, and they were having a problem with a light in the bathroom. I went over there the other day and worked on that for them. So they're just down the road too. They're not that far. So I got 3 kids, 2 boys and 1 girl. The oldest boy still lives with my ex-wife, and they have a house 5 minutes away. And my son lives in between the 2 of us. So yeah, that's right, Ken. There's always something to do around the house. Cut the grass, trim the you know, pull the weeds, do outside, power wash the house. A lot of things that I got to do before winter comes. Cutting the grass this year has been crazy. I think I've only cut it 4 times this year so far. And it comes to the weekends when I can do it, and it's either raining or it's too damn hot. I don't want to be out there in 100-degree weather cutting grass. It ain't going to grow anyway. So I just cut it this past weekend. It finally cooled down after it rained one day. cooled down, I was able to get the grass cut real quick. So then I'll wait another week and then cut it again, or maybe I'll cut it this weekend if it's cool enough. Oh yeah, that's right. I won't be offended if anybody drops off and wants to watch Heath. He comes on at 9 o'clock tonight. Wednesday night is a very popular night, I guess. So I'm glad to see all you that came out here tonight on my channel, and I appreciate every one of you that show up. So yeah, I hit 400 subscribers the other day. Then it went up to 402. Now I'm down to 401. So it fluctuates on a regular basis, but I'm creeping up, catching up to some of you guys in the 400 level. So either I hope I don't pass you. I hope you guys get above, keep growing like everybody else should. So if nobody is a blue on here, I'll make you blue. I know Floyd, and I'm going to write your names down and then I'll take care of it. I can't do it on StreamYard. Floyd isn't. Ken isn't. And who else was it? Everybody else. Dan's. I have to go on YouTube and do it, but I don't want to bring it up because then I'll get feedback stuff. I know how to turn off the volume, but I don't want to mess around with it. But I'll add these on as I go. And Todd Armstrong. I like to make everybody a moderator. That way they can click on the other person that's in the chat and go right to their channel and subscribe to them if they aren't already. So that's why I like to make everybody moderators. And go from there. Been pretty warm today. Looks like going to start getting hot again. Yeah, probably. Well, they're calling for rain here today and tomorrow. And then the weekend's supposed to be in the 80s and sunny, so we'll see. I got to get at the basement. I don't know what that means. Okay, Mike. Thanks for stopping in. We'll catch you later. All right, guys. Well, I've exhausted my talking for an hour plus here. I just want to again say I want to thank everybody for stopping in. I really appreciate it. Hope to see you all again in the next video. I'll be probably putting out another video in a week or so with the subway system. Hopefully it'll be running by then. And we can go from there. So, all right, everyone, take care. I'm going to end the video now and hope to see you again soon. And have a good week, what's left of it. And happy hump day, by the way. Today is Wednesday. And we'll see you all later, everybody. Take care.